For Lafayette, Antwain George and Dan Houlihan, Rob Richardson, Dan Sipple, and teammates representing the Indians. Head coach of Lafayette in his second year after 17 years as an assistant is Tom Fee, and Mike Elkin in year number 5 as the head coach of Madison Central. So we're about ready to get it away. Now it's time to set the starting lineups, and to do so for Lexington Lafayette offensively, here's Bob Miranda.
All right, Greg, starting at left tackle, Thomas Higgins, number 50, 6 foot, 235-pound senior. Left guard, Sonny Mills, number 56, 6'1", 215. At center position, number 58, Andy Biscoff, 6'1", 215-pound senior. Right guard, number 55, Tawn Snyder. Right tackle, number 75, John Cox. Number 88, Jeff Neal will be doing the punting for the Lafayette. Wide receiver, number 88, Jeff Neal, 6 foot, 165-pound junior. Wingback, number 9, Vic Johnson, a man to watch. 5'11", 160, he can fly. And the tight end, John Devey, number 16, 6'2", 180-pound senior. The tailback, Antwain George, number 3, 5'10", 185-pounder, senior. And at quarterback, Billy Martin, number 14, 5'9", 158, senior. The fullback, number 35, Dan Serba, 5'11", 180, junior.
For Madison Central tonight, Bob, as we're about ready to get underway, Mike Maslin will be at left tackle. Travis Lynch will move over to right tackle tonight and replace Terry Boggs in the offensive line. Dan Sipple will be the center, and Donnie Mead will move into a guard along with William Clark. As normal, Chris Cruz quarterback, Farrell Ferris at fullback, Speller and Richardson, Ted and Rob will rotate at tailback. Reggie Miller at the wideout along with the flanker Steve Evans. David Asbill has the flu. He is not even here tonight. And Sean Evans is the tight end. So no changes except for Boggs out and Mead in on the offensive line. At least that's what the coaches gave us yesterday as we did our pregame preparation. So ready to go here as Reggie Miller will tee it up, and the Indians will defend the goal to our left, and Lexington Lafayette will move right to left. And Bob, the thing I noticed looking at Lafayette down in the locker room when we were down there, they look pretty big for a Kentucky high school football team.
Good size, can match up with anybody in the state, I believe.
They were number 2 in the state last year, despite only a 10-4 record, with losses to Corbin, Kaywood, Fort Thomas, and then Trinity of Louisville in the state championship game down in Louisville. But they beat all 3 Lexington teams they played, and in those 3 games allowed only 9 points, a safety in one, a shutout in the other, and they allowed a 7 in another game. So Reggie Miller ready to boot the ball away, a straight-on kicker. On this, the voice of Madison Central football to Madison County, WEKY Richmond, where tomorrow the Kentucky Wildcats play Kent State, their time at noon. Miller into the football. They try the onside kick. It's into the neutral zone, and it won't work, as covering up the football is an up man at the 34. It got by wave number 1, but then it rolled too far, and the Indians just weren't down there soon enough to get all the way down to the football. As a man back there to cover it up was Dan Houlihan, one of the co-captains, a 6-foot senior, and Lafayette will go on offense. Defensively for the Indians tonight, Travis Lynch, the nose guard. Boggs is a tack along with Maslin, Dyer, and Evans are the ends. The linebackers are Hopkins and Farrell, Ferris, Evans, Cruz, Bicknell, and Turner in the secondary. 1st and 10 for the Generals at their own 34, and they are met in the backfield as they go to their fullback first time out, and a whole bunch of Indians are there. One of the players at the bottom of the pile is Travis Lynch, and if he didn't make the first stop, somebody else did, and there are a whole host there, Bob, of Indians.
No place to go for Lafayette on that drive.
I believe Johnny Robinson was the man that carried the football. I'm not for sure, though. It may have been the fullback. Lost that. They've actually gone to almost a straight T, even though they put their dangerous Vic Johnson out more on a wing, and now they bring their other man, Antwain George, out, and now they'll pitch it back to Johnson in the backfield. This Beecher's in trouble. He's going to reverse and go back towards New York City from L.A. Back at the 20, up to the 25, the 30. There we see his speed. And boy, as he hit it to the 36-yard line. Oh, that hurt. From the 33, went all the way back to the 20. Came off the West Coast back to the East Coast when he got by about Philadelphia, headed up for Canada, and got crunched at the 36. That's a lot of running for 3 yards. He was all over the country on that one. 3rd down and 8 now to 36. Well, that was a hard hit. Yeah, we saw his speed there, though, Bob.
Yeah, we sure did. For 3 yards, that was a lot of running.
Wide out to the left side comes Theo Hersey. They go to the I, the quarterback, Billy Martin. And a flag is down. May have been too much time, is too much time. First penalty of the evening. And that'll make it 3rd down and 13. March the football back to the Generals 31. So kind of a rugged beginning for the Lexington Lafayette Generals, who have marched into town to help Central open the home schedule. Central in 2 games gave 255 yards of offense up to Tates Creek. Madison got 126, but they won the football game 8-7. Central 1-1, Generals 2-1. 3rd and about 13 now, back to 31 for Lafayette. Quarterback Martin to the air. Looking deep down the right side for the bomb. They've got coverage, and it is tipped and intercepted. Intercepted by Joe Houchins. Houchins down at the 25, backpedaled, got in front of intended receiver Vic Johnson, and they played center field all the way, and Houchins comes up with his first interception and the team's 3rd of the 1986 season. If you remember, Bob, on the pregame comments from Mike Elkin, he said they like to go for the deep home run, and Central is just sitting back waiting for it.
Basically, Greg, that ball was just a little bit underthrown. If he would have thrown it out there a little bit more, Vic Johnson could have ran underneath it for a touchdown.
Houchins ready for the strong arm throw of Martin, and he plays it well, and Central has a football on the first turnover of the night at the 25-yard line. The quarterback is Cruz. Back of the eye, it's Richardson. In motion is, no, that's Speller, not Richardson. Flags are all over the place. Down he goes at the 27-yard line, Speller. They didn't start Ferris at fullback. They started Bicknell. Illegal motion, Central. That'll make it 1st down and 15. Move the football back to the 20. Well, Central had trouble with penalties last week. 77 yards against the Purples. 55 yards in penalties against Tates Creek 3 weeks ago. New backfield in there. Also a new tight end, Roop out. Evans in at tight end. Speller out, Richardson in at tailback. Bicknell out at fullback, Ferris in. And also Steve Dyer leaving at tight end. So they had a couple of tight ends apparently in the ball game. Now Steve Evans and Reggie Miller. Evans in the slot, Miller the wide out to the short side of the field. And that is the right side. So they go left to right on your radio dial. Cruz has an eye behind him. Chris fakes the handoff. Straightens up the throw, nobody open. He'll try to run out of the pocket, and he is chased down by John Cox, the right tackle. And the 6-foot senior drops him. And they may have recovered the football. They did. Cruz just bobbled the football away. And I believe coming up with the football is the free safety, Vic Johnson. So Cruz, who made a costly error fumbling the football late in the Tates Creek game, has made another mistake here, fumbling the football. And at the 22, Lafayette gets it back. Their offense couldn't get anything going. The defense has been the stalwart activity here on both sides so far tonight. 1st down, Generals 22, nothing going at all. What a hit. They hand it off into the middle of the line to Antwain George, and he was crunched. I believe, and it's hard to pick up the number, that Mike Maslin, the right tackle, made the initial hit. It was Maslin, 5'11.5", 218-pound senior. That Central defense has come to play tonight. Loss of 2 from the 22 back to the 24. Much more intense than against Madison the other night. You can just see it sitting here in the press box watching it.
Aggressive gang tackling out there tonight.
Andy Bischoff, 6'1" senior, over the football. Martin, the quarterback, eye behind him. Wing to the right. Here's the bootleg. Setting, throwing into the end zone. Johnson streaking over his head. Back of the end zone. Coverage downfield by Cruz, and even closer. And with the main coverage was right side cornerback Steve Evans. 6'1" senior. It'll be 3rd down and 12 Generals. So we've had 2 mistakes already by the offenses. Interception thrown by Martin. A fumble by Cruz, the quarterback. Third down, 12 Generals. 8:22 to go. First quarter of play. They're at the 24 of Central after Cruz fumbled the football away. I formation. Back to pass Martin. Looking over the middle, catching, and down at the 15, short of what is needed for the first down, is Theo Hersey, a 5'9" junior wingback. Just outside the 15, pickup of 9 on the play. That'll make it 4th down and about 3.5 to 4. The Generals don't bring their soccer player and place kicker Tim McChesney in there. They go for it on 4th and a long 3 just outside the Indians' 15. Big defensive play for the Tribe early in this one. And Martin straightens up and wants a timeout. Timeout of the field, no score, back in 1 minute. Commercial. Seven minutes, 40 seconds to go in period number 1. And a change of decision from Tom Fee. Martin, quarterback, came to the line, called a timeout. And now they've brought Tim Chesney, 5'11" senior, in, and Chesney will attempt the field goal. Well, now, yeah, they've got him in there. I thought they were going to take him back out, but he's pacing it off. And Martin will hold. The long snapper will be backup center David Kirkland. He'll mark it down at about the 22. It'll be a 32-yarder. Don't see him much longer this in high school football. It's on the right side hash mark at a 32-yarder on 4th down. High snap. The kick is up. He gets it off, and it is just barely over the crossbar. 3-0 Lafayette. Central almost got in the backfield. Just couldn't quite get to it. Man charging in, Steve Evans took a dive at the pigskin. And he was about at the outer range of his kicking range, but he got it. 7:35 to go, first quarter, 3-0 Lafayette. We'll try it again. Are you there? We'll be back in a minute.
Turpin Funeral Home is proud of the tradition of excellence that has become synonymous with its name. Turpin Funeral Home at 237 North 2nd Street in Richmond has been serving the area for more than 50 years with dignified, thoughtful, personalized service. Phone 623-1276. The staff and management of Turpin Funeral Home wishes the best of luck to all the local high school football teams competing this year.
Now is the best time to buy a new Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge from Lawson Chrysler Plymouth Dodge on Big Hill Avenue. For a limited time only, you'll find a closeout on 86 models with 2.4 APR financing or a factory rebate of up to $500. Hurry, though. There are just a few models in stock, and they won't last long. You know Lawson Chrysler Plymouth Dodge on Big Hill Avenue. They've been in business at the same location for 21 years, and they service what they sell. Lawson Chrysler Plymouth Dodge. Save now during the 86 model closeout.
Ted Speller returns the football just shy of the 35-yard line of the kickoff from Tim Chesney, who just booted a 32-yard field goal. Central's defense slowed Lafayette to a 4th and 3. They went for the field goal of 32 yards, and they're on the board after the Cruz fumble. 3-0. 7:20 to go, first quarter. Cruz, the quarterback, I formation behind him. Wideouts both ways. Hand off to the tailback, and over the 35 to the 36 for a yard is Richardson. That'll make it 2nd down and 9. 7 minutes and underneath in quarter number 1. 3-0 Lafayette as Speller comes in and Richardson leaves. So they use the tailback in most instances to bring the plays in, and that's what they've done here. Wide out to the right side, Steve Evans. Wide out left to Reggie Miller. Front of the eye is Bicknell, the fullback, rotating with Farris tonight. Here's the pitch on the toss sweep. Around the right side comes Speller up over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Pick up on the play of 6. That'll make it 3rd down and 3 as they've got to get to the 45. Up to make the stop out of the monster back position is Antwain George, a 5'10 senior. New backfield in there outside of the quarterback. Cruz still a QB. Ferris in, Richardson in, Speller and Bicknell check out of the I. And they flip-flop the wide receivers, this time coming to the near side of the field. Miller, far side goes Steve Evans. Tight end Sean Evans. They run to the tight end side on a pitch, and it's a bad pitch by Cruz, picking it back up in the backfield and running out of bounds. And being knocked out of bounds is Richardson. Cruz is nailed just as he pitches it back. And it was not on target with Richardson as they faked the dive into the line to Ferris, the fullback, going to the left tackle, left guard hole with the tight end pulling out there, and they lose yardage about 4 yards back to the 38. And the Indians come up dry, and it'll be punting time for Sean Evans. 9 punts this year, average of 38 yards, 44 is long, 2 44-yarders against Madison I. Big 6'7" punter hangs it high. Good coverage down there. 2 Lafayette players get in the way. I don't know if it touched him. Central's on the football. Let's wait and see. Did not touch it. Lafayette's football. But Central still gets a break at the 18. I mean, those 2 guys collided, and they are very fortunate, Bob, that the football, and it'll take a funny bounce, didn't hit right into them.
I'll tell you what we're seeing tonight, Greg. 2 aggressive teams. Aggressive defense, aggressive play tonight. 2 hungry teams.
Central on defense, but with better field position. That was a long punt. Carried the football all the way down to the 18-yard line. Covered 44 yards, so 3 times, 44 yards the punt. Here's a handoff to the first man through, up over the 20 to about the 21 or 22. Runner was Robinson, Johnny Robinson. Let's give him the 21. A pick up of 3. It'll be 3rd down or 2nd down and 7 now. Terry Boggs, left tackle, 6'2" senior, making the stop. Getting the start on the defensive line in place of Donnie Meade, who's starting an offense tonight. 2nd down, 7. Clock under the 5 minutes. First quarter, 3-0 in Lafayette. Wing back right, handoff to the tailback, maybe a yard to the 22. Good gang tackling again by Central. Bottom of the line, Meade again. Up to help out right end, Steve Dyer. In there on the top of the pile, Aaron Hopkins, the linebacker. George, the man that carried the football, and Antwain George didn't get much. A yard, it'll be 3rd down and 6. They've got to get it to the 28. The Pigskins at the 22. George had 80 yards against Corbin the other night. Third and 6. Martin is like to go to the air. He'll do it again. Under pressure. He throws. The defender slips, and it's caught. Out to the 38 for a first down. Jeff Neal, the wide receiver, as the defender in front of him just flat out lost his footing.
Number 88, Jeff Neal.
Out to the 38, and it's first down. Generals a pick up a 16.
Number 18, Steve Dyer.
Through the air now. Lexington Lafayette is 2 for 4 for 25 yards. Wide out right goes Rob Strumberg. In the slot is Johnson. I formation behind Martin. Handoff tailback. Big hole. And he rips just right over top of defender Steve Dyer and slams his way out to the 49. Pickup of 11. Dyer and George, their shoulder pads collided, and George had a head of steam, and Dyer went backwards, and he needed help from teammates. Boy, we saw George run well that time. Dyer is shaken up. He's going to leave the ball game. Roy Evans, one of the assistant coaches, talking to him.
We're going to have to contain Antwain George tonight if Madison wants to have successful defensive game and a victory.
First down and 10, 49-yard line. Here's the end around it. The running back Johnson, and look at him shake loose. He's back in the backfield now. He turns it on upfield and goes out of bounds. He's lost yardage at about the 48-yard line. He was again way back at the 40, changed directions, headed up the near sidelines, and got back to about the 47, still lost 2. It'll make it 2nd and 12, but again, Johnson runs about 3 times as far as the average back would. Say he's a little bit of a hothead, and he got over there in the central bench that time, and I started to notice a little pushing from him, but
Madison knows that he's the player that they're going to look to for the big play, so they're keying on him tonight.
3:18 to go, 2nd and 12. They give it off to Antwain George, and he may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. He was spun around like a top. Whole bunch of Indians down there, gang tackling. We've talked about that a lot. We got one Indian down and injured. One of the players in there was Steve Evans, but one tribesman is down on the ground and holding the face mask. And I believe it's going to be, it's a 7. It's either Boggs or Maslin, 75 or 73. It's the Generals. Central 5 yards on 4 carries. Zippo through the passing department. The offense has had 2 shots at it and done very little so far. The defense has played well. They face another 3rd down situation. 39 the Generals on offense. And 3rd downs tonight, they are 0 for 2. 3rd and 11, 48-yard line. Generals own territory late in quarter 1. Generals up 3-0. Back to pass Martin. Deep drop. It's hit. His arm is hit. The ball's high in the air down to the turf in midfield. Charging in there was Terry Boggs. And I believe Boggs may have gotten his arm on the pass, or may have been somebody else. Didn't spot it for sure. Bob, did you pick up who got in there? Couldn't tell, but it's going to be 4th down and punting time.
I believe it was Boggs.
Jeff Neal, who caught a pass tonight. He was back to punt. 6-foot player. He's a junior. He's dropping back to about the 33 and warming the leg up. Long snapper David Kirkland. Paws on football. Joe Houchins along with Ted Speller back for Central. Twin safeties. Punt from the 37, and that is a great punt. I mean, that one's up in the heavens and down and kicking into the end zone. Man, did he get his leg into that. But the net punt won't be that good, but it is a 52-yarder. Net punt 32, but man, that's about the best leg I've seen from a high school kid in a long time. That thing just rocketed it off his foot.
Let's sign him up.
Sign him up. Get him out there. Pro contract him a back pocket, 20-yard line. Central gets crack number 3 at it, and they are yet to get a 1st down in this football game. Looking over to the sidelines as though they may have a mix-up. Mike Elkin looking over at the officials, and a timeout Central. 2:37 to go. 1st quarter, 3-0 Lafayette. More football action.
Phone 623-1276. The staff and management of Turpin Funeral Home wishes the best of luck to all the local high school football teams competing this year.
1st down at 10 Central on 20-yard line, and Cruz has fumbled the football again on the exchange of snap. That time the snap from Simple to Cruz went awry.
Lafayette.
And Lafayette is down on the football. Central's trying to hand this thing away. I believe the player that came up with a football is Brian Sonka, the linebacker, 5'11" senior. And there's an injured Indian down on the field again. Well, the defense has played superbly. The offense, flat out, has not been able to get on track. And the Generals will have it at the 20. That just looked like the last one was Cruz trying to scramble around the left end. Acker warming up in the sidelines and snapping to him back up center, Jim Elkin. And Jim is not going out, so let's see who else will be the center. I thought they were going to bring Jim in, but oh yeah, so of course they are. Lafayette got the football, didn't they? Wake up, Greg. But I think he will be in if Simple doesn't recover. Here they're going to go for the home run from the 20. Martin throwing the end zone. He's wide open. Touchdown. No doubt about it. He was wide open in the end zone, and out behind everybody, Rob Stromberg, and Lafayette is up by a 9-0 score. No problem. He just slipped right behind the secondary for the Indians, and he just waited on Martin to see him and hit him. 20-yard touchdown pass, and the Indians offense has really kind of dented what has been a good defensive beginning so far. You can't fault the defense for giving up 10 first quarter points, even though they didn't play well on that one. That was Stromberg behind him, getting the 20-yard touchdown pass from Martin, who has gone to the air. And here is Chesney on for the extra point kick. The holder is Martin. The snapper is Kirkland. The kick is up. They may have gotten a hand on it, but it's right through the uprights. 10-0 Lafayette, 2:10 to go. First quarter. We'll be back after this 30-second timeout.
Steel, the #1 selling power product in the world. J&H Car and Small Engine on West Main has a full line of steel products. Save time and energy this fall. Don't rake leaves. Gather them with a steel leaf blower for just $159.95. You can gather as many leaves in 10 minutes as you would rake in 1 hour. Purchase an 028 Super Chainsaw and you'll receive a personalized buck knife absolutely free. J&H has all kinds of saws, from small saws for firewood to commercial saws for logging and industrial use. Steel and J&H Car and Small Engine on West Main. What a combination.
J&H Car and Small Engine, 623-7344.
Secondary.
Well, Lafayette has used the passing game here tonight a little bit more than maybe expected. They're already 3 of 6 for 45 yards, including a 20-yard touchdown just a minute ago after another Cruz fumble. 20-yarder, Martin to Stromberg. Chesney, the extra point kick. Central dropping a man back deep in Richardson. And flags are down, probably offsides on Lafayette. As that'll move the football back to the 35. As so kick again, 10-0 Lafayette, 2:09 to go. As a couple of fumbles by the quarterback Cruz, one on a rollout left, where it looks like he was left out on a clothesline to dry, and he was hit and fumbled. And then on the snap from Sipple injured, and Cruz fumbled the football on the snap exchange, and both have turned into points, a field goal and now a touchdown pass.
You can't blame the defense, Greg. The offense just isn't putting anything together right now. The defense is doing the job, basically, except for that one play.
Danny Serbaugh is the man that is kicking off. Maybe Danny, but you spell it D-A-N-N-I-E. So Serbaugh kicking off rather than Chesney. Chesney, the field goal and extra point kicker. Low liner. And it gets by everybody, right by Speller, and it's not going to roll into the end zone. Central's in trouble. Back at it 2. Richardson rolling laterally, and the offense, which hasn't done a thing, is now going to be under real pressure with a new quarterback in Dan Acker. They're back at about the 3 or 4 yard line. So to put a new quarterback in there, senior southpaw is going to be under big pressure here. Down to make the stop was Bob Hardesty. I call the line of scrimmage a 5.
Coach Elkin wasting no time putting a new quarterback in. Doesn't want what happened last week to happen this week.
Cruz bench for Acker. Miller wide left. Tied into the near side is Sean Evans. Richardson in the back of the eye. Ferris in the front. They go to Richardson. He trips in the backfield. So he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Back into the game, number 17, Dan Acker.
He got to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Did he lose a couple? Did. He lost 2. Back to the 3. Second down and 12. Richardson 3 carries, -5 yards tonight. Handoff to the fullback Ferris, bowling out to the left side, and he is hit and dropped. Good defensive play by the monster back coming up close, Antwain George. Got out to the 5, the original line of scrimmage. Pick up a 2 by Ferris at his first carry. 3rd and 10. Ferris went for a total of 91 yards against Madison the other night. The tailback position has been ineffective this year. As far as big yardage, the fullback position has done the damage. Richardson 59 yards, Speller 28. Ferris 95, Bicknell 17. The rushing totals coming into this game. 3rd and 10 Central at its own 5, already down 10-0. The last 20 seconds of the quarter. And whistles, delay of game, Central. So when things go wrong, they really go wrong. That'll march the football back to near the 2. Call it 3rd and 12 again. Central has now been penalized 2 yards here. Moving the football back to the 3 officially. Richardson in, Speller out.
3rd and 12 from the 2-yard line.
Clock stopped at 18 seconds. In quarter number 1, 10-0 Lafayette. Malkin, the new center, was Sipple injured. Sipple up on the sidelines under his own power now. Probably he'll be able to get back into the ball game. Tight end Evans in motion, sets up to the far side, left side. Back to pass out of the end zone. Acker double pumps, throws deep down the sidelines. Evans dives. He can't get it out at the 32-yard line. Almost there. And it was Steve Evans that they intended the pass for, and Acker just barely over his head. As Central really could have gotten out of trouble there. Almost did it. And it'll be fourth down at 12. Back at the 3-yard line, and the pressure is now on Sean Evans to punt the football away. Last time he did a good job, 44-yarder. His average up around 39 now. First week he averaged 34 yards on 5 punts. 4 punts last week against Madison. He averaged 43 yards. He's in the back of the end zone. I believe Sipple may be back in there to snap long. They're coming hard, going for the block, and he gets it off. It's a very short kick under hard pressure, and it takes a lateral bounce at the 25, and it kicks back towards the Central goal line, and it's down at about the 23. So it is a 20-yard punt. As Evans was rushed, and he's a pretty slow punter as far as the time it takes him to get the punt off, so he had to rush it and didn't get a good punt away. So the Central defense has got to feel as though their horoscope is reading haywire tonight. At the end of the first quarter, they've got their backs against the wall again, and Lafayette's had a good first 12 minutes of football. They're ahead 10-0. Quarter 2 after this 1-minute timeout.
This weekend.